For the record, my name is Curt Seidlits. I'm here today appearing on behalf of TexasIsHot Coalition, and having been an astute reader of audiences before, I will be very brief, Mr. Chairman. We provided written testimony as well as a handout of some of the product that we've used at TexasIsHot. I want to talk to you briefly just about three things. TexasIsHot is a coalition of folks around the state who are interested in saving Texans billions of dollars through energy efficiency. And we try to accomplish this through a web-based internet site called TexasIsHot.org.
And by the way, I spent some time yesterday evening going through that site. That's a very impressive site. There's a lot there. People ought to take the time to go through that.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members. The testimony that you've heard here today, I think, focuses on the fact of how do we get this education to consumers. So that's what we're trying to do at TexasIsHot. The second thing I'd like to leave y'all with is the kind of the prioritization of issues. It's wonderful that ERCOT keeps the lights on as they did yesterday at the peak demand, highest ever. It's wonderful that the PUC does what they do and moving along and all the companies. But to continue to build generation, which we must, and build all types of generation, there is somewhat of a quicker way to reduce consumption and demand as we go forward, and that's through energy efficiency programs that we have. There are some studies out there that are cited in the written testimony, but it's amazing what we can do, saving by 2030 if we just implement most of the programs we have today. We could save about building 8,500 megawatts of new generation. The third thing is, how do we get results out there? And if you look back at the controllers study that they did before last session, they recognized that, one, we need to educate consumers. In fact, there's some money over there at the controller's office right now for a statewide office campaign on energy efficiency. If you look at the ITRON study that was commissioned by the Public Utility Commission, it also highlights the need for a statewide. And I would just leave you with the fact, to get people motivated in this area, let's look back at what campaigns have worked before. In 1982, we had a litter problem, and we talked about don't mess with Texas. It reduced 70% of the litter over the next few years. If you look at the click it or ticket campaign out there, it's the same way. It's reduced those folks who have not worn their seatbelts. So if I may leave you with this, there is a very much of a need for a statewide campaign to educate people and bring them not only, as Kate said, to conservation issues, but also to how to use these new technologies that are out there and available for each and every one of us to use.
Are you speaking more of a public sector campaign or a private sector campaign?
I think both. I mean, I think, as you've heard, everybody's doing something, but there doesn't seem to be a real cohesive body out there promoting the same overarching message. That's what we're trying to do. But I know the controller's office and SECO were starting to do the same thing over there. So I think a quasi-public-private would do very well and bring about the results. I might mention California. You know, they don't beat us in too many areas, but in energy efficiency, they've done a very nice job, and their education program ran into the tens of millions of dollars, and I'm not advocating that. But they did do it and got people's attention and reduced demand.
Very good. Any questions? Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Chairman.